Welcome, CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I am Adam Smith.
I am Larry Smith.
Don't worry.
Putting a flourish on it. Oh, we're cousins. Yeah. Right. I'm sorry. I've been singing to the kids at night for the last 3.5 years. I feel like I've gotten pretty good.
Yeah. And when we were singing on the podcast before, you had some good practice there.
Yeah, no, that was not good. That was so bad. Our grandma covers her ears when we're singing happy birthday at the family birthdays when we used to do that.
Well, it's just because we're pretty terrible, all of us together.
Yeah, I mean, we're all
anybody really, unless you're in a choir.
Anybody.
Well, unless you're in a choir like grandma is, or was, you're going to all sound terrible. Everybody's going to be off pitch and all that stuff. You know?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, maybe. All right. What are we doing? What are we doing today?
This is episode 186. Such a weird intro this week. 186.
Sorry.
What exactly are we doing today on this podcast, Lowry?
Okay, so we're going to just kind of like self-reflection time. And we're kind of looking at EDHREC and looking at the top 100 decks that have been made in the last 2 years. Our podcast has been going for 3.5. So
oh, good for you.
Oh, good for you.
And so we're kind of just wanting to discuss like the decks that we've built, how popular are they? Some of them that we have that maybe aren't on the list, compare, contrast, and we'll see where the conversation goes.
The funny thing is we were supposed to precast a little bit and talk about the order that we have these in, and I completely forgot to even mention that, because what I wanted to do is work our way from 100
That's
up.
true.
And
okay, well, I'll just start counting down from 100 when we start this, right?
100 bottles of beer on the wall, 100 bottles of beer, you take one down, you pass it around, 99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99? Do you have a 99? No,
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
98. Yeah, that'll be.
That's
considering we wanted this
We're
to
not
be
singing.
close to an hour long, that just singing
Yeah.
will be.
I don't even think any pirate decks made the top 100 in the last 2 years, but that's fine.
I like how you put it to pirates. That's pretty good.
That's how I see the song, 99 bottles of beer on the wall?
I guess I just never thought of it being a pirate song because I just don't hear R's and mateys and all that in it. So
you don't. 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Well, now I do.
It. Yeah, now you. Well, that's how headcanon right there. All right. We definitely have Savant, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. And we are on week 2. Oh man, I need to get on my button stuff.
Oh, because somebody didn't win. Okay, so it's Esper Sentinel. What is it? What's the card? I don't even know.
From last week, you're saying?
Yeah. No. What are they trying to win?
Oh, yes. Esper Sentinel. Yes. Esper Sentinel is still on the line. It's still online until somebody wins it.
Yeah.
This week, I did a double drawing before went and did. I didn't do Proxy Time this week. So that's a little whatever.
So if you're looking for it, all three of you, it's not there.
Hey, you douche canoe.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so my Drake and Zeke drew for me this morning before we did our solo days.
Cute.
And Gwen is actually the one that's going this week. And if she stumps you, then we'll have to think of something else for the next one. Yeah. But then we have Sir Chancelot 007 for next week. So there's a little foreshadowing of stuff here. So double. But yeah, speaking of, I did solo days. We've been talking about it for a while now that we just wanted to.
Hey,
what?
We have a new patron.
Oh, son of a bitch. Do you have the name down? It's your buddy.
It's a buddy of mine. All right. I'm not going to say his tag or anything. So you hit the button.
But say his name.
Oh, we got a new patron. He's a cool guy. I know him. His name's Alex. And
welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
What is his likes and dislikes? What is he?
It doesn't matter.
Walks on the beach.
He basically my best friend from high school is his brother-in-law, and my buddy Brandon, he's just kind of like telling anybody that knows anything about Magic that we have a podcast. He's a very good salesman.
Nice.
And Alex is like, I have a ton of old cards. And so I met up with them early August and ignored everybody else other than Alex and just went through his cards.
He just
And I was like,
You're
"There's some really
you
cool,
have
fun
magic
stuff."
cards?
Yeah.
I could be friends with you. I don't want to talk to anybody else. All my other friends.
I mean,
I'm just gonna
I haven't
stick to this
seen
friend.
any of you since quarantine, and I will still ignore you. I'm
What
no.
a dick.
no. I mean, it was a section of hanging out with him, but it was good to catch up, good to see him, and ever
While you're
since then
sorting
he's
through,
been.
hey, how's it going? Oh, this is a good card. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
he's just
You got
asking a ton
kids?
of questions, getting into I showed pictures or whatever,
Nice.
But he's been asking a ton of questions, just became a patron, and so in the Discord, be nice to him, and he's learning a lot. He's a smart guy, so he'll get along just fine. And he's funny. He's a lot more. He's a lot more funny than I am.
Sounds like a fairy
so.
tale of a meat forest.
Yeah, I liked his response to the welcome with Rafi from the league, and he did the whole hot dog. Was it hot dog bun thing?
It looked like a hot dog bun.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, hold on. I thought that was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, it's from the league.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he might be in Brooklyn
I seem silly
Nine-Nine.
now.
Well,
He
might
was a
be in
character
Brooklyn.
on 9-9,
He might be
yeah.
on 9. He's in a lot of comics, but where the Rafi is like the league, he's crazy and it's funny. He's really funny in that. But I think that's where the welcome is from. I might be wrong. Maybe that's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but that's where I know his character because I didn't watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Heard it's really good.
I didn't watch either. But
Speaking of good movies, part of the solo date stuff with my oldest this weekend. And actually, I'm going to be taking.
hold on. Let's
Another
explain what the
patron?
solo thing is.
Another
no,
patron?
No, I'm just interrupting you because it's on theme now.
Interrupting cow. Moo.
Tell that one to your wives.
Moo. Interrupting
So
cow.
what is what is solo days? Because you told me today, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, Kirsten, we should do that. When that's a great idea. So like you're basically like you're taking one of your kids and going and doing something cool, and Cindy is taking the other kid doing something cool,
And then the next day we
flipping the
flip-flop,
next day.
and we do
Yeah.
different things with each one. So like
yeah.
Zeke my youngest really likes animals and the zoo and stuff. So Cindy took him to the zoo today, and Drake is Zeke actually would probably go to Valley Fair, but he's too short. Drake
He's too
is
short. Yeah.
just
Not
at
saying,
the
yeah.
no, but 48
Your
basically.
child is short.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
48 inches gets you on every ride except for one. So, and Drake is right at 48 inches. So we were
Okay.
able to go on all the roller coasters and stuff like that.
Sweet.
And then tomorrow I'll be taking Zeke to what we used to call Camp Snoopy Land or whatever at the Mall of America.
Now
I think
it's
it's Nickelodeon.
Land.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Something? Yeah.
Yeah. So taking him there, and then Cindy's taking Drake to a jump park, trampolines and stuff like that. So, but we started it off with the movies. Like we were kind of like, I wanted to take Drake to the new, is it Shang-Chi? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Freaking amazing movie. Because me, when I was in high school and all that, I liked the Kung Fu stuff. Kind of like movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but I liked all the Kung Fu stuff.
Yeah.
And so this is like the first superhero Marvel movie that I've seen that's like Kung Fu, like that.
For sure.
And it was
yeah.
really, really well done and had a motherfucking dragon in it.
It did. So it did have a dragon. And I've only heard good things about it from a few select people that I know that watch movies. So like if it was just you, I'd kind of like, but it's more people. Man, that's
I
the
know
second
my
diss that I've
movies.
had. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what is going on?
I
You've
don't
had
know.
2 beers.
We
We're back to the Lowry picking is drunk and picking on Adam. That was back in the
I'm
early
on my
days.
third beer.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Look
This
at
is gonna
that. This is going to
this
be
is gonna be
brutal for you.
bad.
All right. So I'm drinking a Stash Panda hazy
would
hazy
drink a
IPA.
Stash.
It's from Hop Valley Brewing Company. I don't know. It was a variety pack. So
Is that, you got a mustache, right?
I don't know what it is. It's what are you drinking?
Guinness.
So original.
Well, actually, it was a gift from we had Drake's
Grapefruit. Yeah.
classmates' parents over. Remember that gal that I told you that sang 99 Red Balloons in
We don't
German?
need like a third week of death laugh stories, but
Yeah.
yes, I recall.
So that was his mom, and so they came over. We played some board games and hung out and all that stuff. But they brought Guinness, so
Okay.
that is what I'm drinking.
Cool. This is out of Eugene, Oregon, and that is a hotbed of good beer, I believe.
This is
I'm
out of
just guessing.
Ireland.
It's probably made in Canada.
I wonder where is it made out of?
No, it's probably Ireland.
Yeah, I was thinking, isn't it Ireland? The funny thing is, so I was telling Cindy, my taste buds have changed because was Cindy pregnant with Drake or Zeke then? I think, no, it was Drake when we went to Ireland as a family. And you sat at the airport for a day waiting for Kirsten to come.
Yeah.
So when we went, because you were sitting at the airport waiting, and we went to the because you didn't go to Guinness with all of us, right? Right.
No,
so I
didn't go at all.
remember tasting the Guinness there and being like, oh man, this is way too dark for me. Now this just goes down like it's like easy. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Like
you became a man.
Oh man,
You're
only a man if you can drink
third one. God,
beer.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have guilt trip here. No, I mean, hey, experiencing different things. Like it's not that thick of a beer. There's plenty more. Like it's a good, solid, drinkable, dark-ish beer. But yeah, like I get its appeal. And it's a good solid beer.
Yeah.
It's better out of the tap.
Yeah.
You know, there's just like
For
a
sure.
lot of
I'd rather
beer is
have
just better out of the tap. So
all right. We have we need to make this episode shorter today.
Yep. Tags.
So tagging it up. All right. So you can also support us like Lowry's buddy did there and become a member of the Meat Forest. If you go to Patreon, you can donate $1 or more, gets you in the Discord.
Hello, boobies.
There we go. Hello, boobies.
Yeah. I think he deserves a hello, boobies. Too.
Hello, boobies. Gets you into the Discord. You get to hear all that fun stuff on there. Lowry's humor on there. There's some deck building stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is in the Discord. I mean, we have it labeled like 30 things deep of all these different channels on there. So that gets you in the Discord. But if you donate $5 or more, that gets you the Proxies of the week. Each month we send out the notification. It's probably the only cast or patron thing that you could join where technically if you wanted to, you actually save money because you don't have to go and buy all those cards. You can just make proxies or get proxies from us.
Yeah.
But $100 or more lifetime makes it so you can choose any proxy each month. But the free way to support the show is to jump on YouTube. And on YouTube, check out our videos. Subscribe first because then you'll see all the videos that pop up. Because like last week we had a ton of videos, and this week we have some videos. Like Larry's Curated MTG, which was
like today.
Yes.
No, Mondays. Mondays was Miri's Guile.
Miri's Guile. Love
that's
that
it's a budget version of Sensei's Divining Top.
I think I put for your title, I said semi-budget Sensei's Divining Top. And
that's not budget.
Yeah, it's cheaper
like
than these two.
Yeah,
but only $10 cheaper than the cheapest one. I think Sylvan is the cheapest out of the two. Actually, we'll get to that with our staple verses. And then you can also check out videos like Proxy Time. Typically, we've been doing that live. Also, the Proxy Time shorts. I did not do this one. I did not do one for this week, but I will probably put up a short to this week. So probably be another Esper Sentinel, which is the prize, surprisingly, for our Stump the Smith Savant. I'll probably do the X-Men one, I think, because I did R2-D2 last week. So that'll be this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, big thing there. Watch the videos, like them, and subscribe to the channel. Another way you guys can follow us is check out Twitter. And you can see Mail Day, which is also Card Sphere Day, which is also, you can see anything that we post. If it's a video, it goes on Twitter. There's never a discussion because no one discusses things on there. Just discuss it on the Discord. Because it's the void of Twitter for us.
Twitter's. If somebody could help us on Twitter and tell us what to do better, that would be great.
Well, number 2 will say, use hashtags. But yeah, anyways, that is where you can also direct message us, but don't direct message us with the Stump the Smith Savants. What you do with Stump the Smith Savant is you jump on our Gmail and you shoot me an email. Just say, attention, Adam, Adam's eyes only. And that's where you do the Stump the Smith Savants. We've had a few that are non-patrons, so everybody's doing it.
And I saw the header and I just swiped it away on my phone and went, don't look at it.
There you go. See, he doesn't want to cheat. So Speaking of, I should probably just get that set up. Stump the Smith Savant. Let's do this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. All right, if you don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowry is going to try to guess the card. He can only ask yes or no questions. Every yes he hears from me, he will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Currently, we have Esper Sentinel up for the giveaway. Every 4 weeks, we will add another card to the ante. And Lowry only gets 3 clues and 5 wrong guesses. So if he hears 5 of these,
wrong, 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 wrong.
Whoever is the stumper that week will win what ante we have. All right, this week comes from Gwen. And you know Gwen's kind of cards.
I think she's probably gonna get me. She's smart.
I'm just kidding. This is not a Pokemon
saying that
card.
The other people aren't smart. I think
you're such a dick.
Fuck.
God. All right, here we go. Gonna read the flavor text, and here we go. There's only one way to be sure it's really dead. There's only one way to be sure it's really dead.
Sounds like something from the movie 300. All right, you stab him with the spear, and so maybe this is something like Theros because that's Greek. Looking at your face, any reactions?
How do
you know, like that's you go around, you stick them with a spear, you see if they, I don't know, maybe you tell a joke, and if they laugh, they're not dead. Is that
the card you're guessing?
I'm just going with it. Okay, so talking about death, it makes me feel like it might be a black card, which happens, but sometimes it could just be like another color talking about a black card. So it could be like a multicolored card, but it could be anything. So let's get a clue.
All right, first clue is both a desirable and an undesirable effect are on this card.
Clicking my tongue. Okay, so both a desirable and non-desirable effect are on this card, but it's over 5,000 decks, so it's fairly good. So I'm going, like, good chance that this is an instant or sorcery. It's removing a creature, probably pinpoint, not a wrath. That's my assumption.
There's only one way to be sure it's really dead.
That's the other thing, is that makes me feel like it might be an exile effect, which is probably more in white or black, so that cuts out green, red, blue. Blue has some exile effects too. So let's go with another clue.
All right, this is a weird clue, but stay with me here.
Fantastic.
These are the first two are Gwen clues. So here's the clue. This hint is big.
What?
Both a desirable and undesirable desirable effect. This hint is big. I know it's a weird hint. I want to make sure I have it worded right. I'm pulling up what
this hint is big.
Yes. Shoot.
Like, is that a Garuk's dong joke right there? Is that what's going on?
Oh man! All right. Yeah, this hint is big. I wanted to make sure that I had it
this
right.
hint is big. This doesn't help me at all. This is fucking abstract.
I know. My last clue will give you a little bit more if you want the last.
Oh,
clue.
thanks. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty big, actually.
Okay. This hint is big. Why am I concentrating on that? That doesn't help me at all. This hint is big. So it's big.
The desirable and
This-
undesirable effect.
Are big. This hint implies that it's the second hint, which means nothing. Is it saying that the first hint is big, or is it saying something within the second hint of this hint is big is the hint?
It's big.
It's fucking stupid.
It might be, yeah. Maybe it's talking about, she's mentioning, it might be saying that something with the first one. That would make a little more sense. Scent? Just 1 cent, not cents.
Just a little
we're not having all the cents. We're just gonna keep 1 cent with that.
Just trying to clarify.
Yeah.
So it's a desirable effect, okay. So in my mind, I want to say Assassin's Trophy, but that is something that is not that flavor text unless it's. I don't think they have flavor text in the secret layer version. That one has something to do with like Vraska taking over, or like killing Isperia. And so in my mind, it's Path to Exile or Swords to Plowshare. That's where I'm at. So is the color of the card white?
Wrong.
1 wrong. Do you want the third clue? It might help. It's my
Well,
clue.
the second clue didn't count. This hint is big. It's desirable and not desirable. And it's the flavor text is how do you make sure
only one way to be sure it's really dead.
only one way to make sure it's really dead.
One
Yeah, I'll take the third clue.
All right, this should give it away. Listen to how this is all presented. Even the strongest Avenger can't touch this card. Even the strongest Avenger can't touch this card. I gave so many hints in that one.
Even the strongest Avenger can't
touch this card.
Can't touch this card.
You're getting stressed. You're getting stressed because there's a prize on the line. If there was no prize, you'd be like, is it a red card? Is it a blue card? Is it a green card? Is it this?
Throwing stuff out. Okay. So is this hold on. Is this a like reference to Thor Ragnarok?
Well,
where okay, like set the scene where Thor is in a Quinjet where he's going, the clue is the strongest Avenger, and he's like, oh, Thor. And then it's Hulk. So that's are we saying this has something to do with Thor?
Is that your question?
Like not being able to pick up a hammer?
Hello, boobies.
There's a big hint.
Jesus.
Even the strongest Avenger can't touch this card.
So it's a hammer?
Hello, boobies.
Like hammers are okay, so this is an equipment. Is this a colorless equipment?
Hello, boobies.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. I think I got it. This is the fucking huge hammer.
That's not the
like-
name of it.
There's adjectives, all right. So this is the one that like one to come down. Okay, this is an official question, but this is the one to come down. It gives it fucking like +10/+10, loses flying, and so this is what the.
Yeah, but we talked about if you can name everything that's happening on the card, but you can't name it.
Hold on, no. Let me get something wrong here. All right, I think I have it.
Okay.
It's something hammer, right?
that what you're asking
That's
me?
my question. Yeah. That's gonna be
Hello,
my question.
boobies.
Something hammer. Okay. Colossal hammer.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
It's a big fucking hammer.
At this point, I'm giving it to you. Like, you got it. You had named everything except for its equip cost.
Yeah, that's like fucking 8 and like impossible. Not
You got-
something that you're doing
Okay,
like 10.
now you just got everything on the card. You got everything on the card except for the name. And even the name, you're very, very, very close. You just fucked up the way you said it.
God damn it.
Well, think about what you said. Colossal hammer.
Yeah, colossal hammer.
What else sounds
Um,
like exactly what you just said, but different?
Colossal hammer? No.
You're bad at this game. Why are we doing this with you?
All right, so this is the Hammer Time deck.
Oh,
Card.
did you get, so even the strongest Avenger, Thor, which gives you the hammer part, you can't touch this. Can't touch this is the name of the deck, by the way. I fit that in. Can't touch this card is the modern deck.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And actually, Gwen wanted to somehow fit it in there, and she's like, I'll just give it away. So I was like, if I fit it in the whole sentence and then kind of give 2 clues away in that. That's how I got
I
it.
did not know that was the name of the deck. I thought it was Hammer Time.
Yeah, no. Oh, there is Hammer Time too. But she had, I really want Can't Touch This as a clue, but it'd be too easy. And that's how I fit it in with.
Huh. Okay.
But
okay,
you're right.
okay.
It is there. I remember it is Hammer Time. Is there?
But maybe I'm thinking of what, like.
Oh, Hammer Time. Can't touch this. Boom. Connection.
Oh. All right. All right.
Yeah.
MC Hammer. Okay. And he even has hammer in there. Okay.
Not Colossal Hammer.
Ginormous ham. What? Okay. When we
Another
were at this
C
point.
word, but doesn't a woman's vagina.
Oh.
Let's see if I can time this right. If I can do a fart noise while
This is going to be the hardest part. I don't have any more clues. Technically, I get this, right? Since I was able to,
Yeah,
like,
you
name
got
the
it.
card.
Yeah. Remember,
And-
that was our stipulation. If you can get
Yeah.
everything that the card does, it just can't pick out the name.
That's pretty much, I know what it is. It's in my head. It's CH is the initials of it.
Yeah.
It's-
It's not a Colossal Hammer. It's a
Calamity.
Colossus.
This is what I fucked up on over.
Colossus Hammer? Colossus Hammer.
Is it really?
Yeah. That's like,
Colossus Hammer?
you were so close, and then you're like, what did you?
Colossal.
Colossal? Is it a colossal hammer?
All right. All right. Yay. For me.
Yeah.
It's fucking close. All right. I'm sorry. But
So what
know
helped
what
you
you're
there?
talking
Because
about.
I know Gwen's clues
I don't
didn't.
know how I even got there other than the Thor, like a good and a bad. Like,
Yeah, it was a tough one. I thought. That
I
was,
guess-
I knew that if I didn't give you more, you weren't gonna get it. Like you needed.
I guess the second one, this hint is big. Like that was too confusing. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand that. I still don't know if I understand that other than the big part. But
Mhm.
that was already kind of in the first one. So
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong, but it felt like only one clue.
Yeah, that the second clue was a little tougher. That's why I was like, I have to give more of a revealing clue, or there's no way you're getting this card. So I was trying to think how to do it all in one.
But I think that was interesting. Did you even know the reference for Thor Ragnarok?
No,
Yeah.
no.
So he
That's what, when you said that, I was like, then you're like, is it Thor? I'm like, yeah, that's what I. But
Because
no,
that was-
in my mind, like Thor is the strongest. You know, he's a god in my mind, and so that's why I said,
man.
the
that's why
the
Thor
strongest.
Ragnarok is so fucking good.
That's why I said the strongest Avenger in my mind is Thor. But I see you're saying with Hulk, but that's what I was implying, trying to get you to go towards Thor. Because it
Interesting.
was dealing with a hammer, and I was like, he can't even pick this up because it's so fucking big. And then that's when I did the he can't touch this card, because then I was trying to add in that with the hammer time.
that was a good one. That was definitely a good one for sure. Thanks, Gwen.
But you didn't stump him, kind of.
Close.
Yeah. I don't think if I gave you another clue that was very vague, I think you were done. Because I was thinking of doing something with a picture, like I was thinking of talking about.
If you would have just like rhymes with philosophus, and I would have been like Colossus.
No, you would have got you would totally got it wrong. All right, so I do not have an opener for our one segment we're doing, so maybe we just do.
I don't want relationship. I just want bang bang bang. I don't want to know your name. I don't want relationship. I just want bang bang bang.
Yours is much louder. I like yours.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I like it. You can hear yours a lot better.
It sounded.
It sounds
fairly
better
on for me.
It sounds a lot better. Okay, so we're just kind of going through the EDHREC top 100 card or decks, commanders. There we go.
Did you get 100?
I did not.
99?
I did not.
98?
Did not.
97?
What I was gonna say is, do we have something in the 90s and then kind of go from there and
going
figure out
down?
where
I start at 53.
Oh, good. This is a lot of good.
This
for
isn't
you.
good for you. This is
Good for you.
So okay. So this is kind of a walk of shame, right? It's a talking about how your deck building and why we're choosing what. And so like I have 18 decks currently built.
Good for you.
I have 8 of them that are in the top 100, and I have 10 that are not.
Good for you.
Do I have a rebuttal?
You just have all good for you back.
Okay, kill him.
There we go.
You're killing my son? How dare you?
Okay, kill him.
This is only because I'm drunk, right? Okay, so I mean, I think it's an interesting way to look at yourself. Like, let's say if I had 18 decks and all 18 of them were in the top 100, am I doing something like, am I following the herd, following the hype? And I think that
says something about how you are as a builder, basically. It's
little
not a
bit,
bad
yeah,
thing. It just might be, I don't want to say like a net decker. It's just you go with the popular stuff. You want to do,
and the more powerful stuff tends to be on this list.
Right.
I think also to think of consideration is when you're building these top 100 decks, people see them a lot more. So they're going to be sick of your deck a lot quicker. So that would be some advice to keep in mind. Like if you're always doing top 100 decks or the very popular decks, maybe back off on it, and then maybe you won't get hated out of games. Just a thought.
Yeah. And actually I have kind of a thought afterwards, or actually do now. We can kind of do a summary towards the end, but a lot of the top 100 ones are, like you said, they're either really powerful, newer, or it's a pretty straightforward mechanic, you know? So they're easy to build and people build them. Cause then I looked at, I have 23 decks. Go ahead.
Oh, good for you.
23 decks, and out of my 23, 10 of them are in the top 100.
True story, bro.
But and the ones that aren't.
Wait,
in
hold
there
on. I
are
wasn't
pretty
paying
unique.
attention. I was looking for the book or for the button.
Button.
So you have 23 that are in the top 100
23 decks
total.
10 are in the top 100. So almost half are in the top 100. And I would say my more interesting decks aren't in the top 100. I would say all but one of these decks I play with a lot. You know, like the one in the top 100, I play a crap ton. All the other ones are outside of the top 100. Those are my fun decks, you know, the ones that aren't, that just have cool things going on. So let's kind of go through this, and then we can kind of do a little summary towards the end, I guess. Is that what you think?
Okay.
Or?
Yeah. We could do that.
Okay. So you don't have any in the 90s. I do.
Oh.
I have number 93, which is Brutaclad. And you guys can find this on EDHREC. You go to the top 100 commanders of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Brutaclad is basically, it's a token deck. It's pretty cool. That deck's just based off of making a crap ton of different tokens. And then the key to that game, that deck winning, and that's one of the podcast decks, I believe, right? Yes.
We talked about it, yes.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we did.
The key to that one is you're copying a creature that isn't a token, like a big creature on your board, like let's say, I don't know, Avenger of Zendikar or something like that, except that's the wrong colors. It's blue and red. But you know what I'm saying? Like a dragon. And then you switch all those tokens into that dragon because you're making a token copy of it. And that's how that deck wins the game. It's not a very good deck early because there's a lot of building, but late that game just all of a sudden wins on a turn. So that's kind of a...
Yeah. And I like, I think there's been some good additions since you've built that deck. Like treasures and food tokens.
Yes, and I have not updated since I've...
Yeah, and so like... I think I remember playing against Zero Cool, and he had, Witch's Oven in there. He's just making food tokens.
Fuck those
and I was like,
foods.
Yeah, that was like the best card in there. It was so good. And it was just like, well, I'm going to turn all of these food tokens into awesome creature. And you're like, oh shit, that was good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's some really cool stuff that you can do with it. I want to say there's like some 7 dwarves builds running around. So I think Throne of Eldraine really reinvigorated that
Did you
deck.
say Thorn of Eldraine? That's a weird...
Throne of Eldraine. I'm drinking.
Oh, there goes the beer. I'm actually probably going to start my second Guinness here. Yeah, no, there's some updates that definitely need to be done with the deck. I don't know if I love it that much to do it. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
A lot of times with those, but okay. So then I also have the next one. Number 88 is Fanax, God of Deception. It was my old mill deck.
Yeah,
and I don't play it anymore. I just still have it. So that one just needs to be destroyed. That's all I really want to say about that. There isn't much that goes on with that. Then the next one would be yours, because then all mine are under 30 or in the 30s is my next one.
Okay, 30s. Okay, so I got 2 in a row here. So 53, I have Oscar. And that's
a new one to get in there. That's pretty good.
But it's at like 2,140 decks. And the top 100 at 100, that's 1,500 decks. So just to give a perspective of where things are in the top 100. So Oscar at 2,140. And that's just kind of like reanimating artifacts. Like I've really pared it down into like the 0s, 1s, and 2s since we talked about it on the cast. Did we talk about it on the cast? We did. We talked about this one.
And you played it when we did the last time we were in real life game.
That
where I was going off
Magda.
with Magda. Yeah. And then
it was really cool. I thought it was
the wind
really...
out of your butthole. Yeah. That was pretty sweet.
I got help. I got help
really
from number
stinky.
2. But I think it's a really cool card. And clearly it's very popular for the latest commander set back from Strixhaven. So
well, it seems like if Boros, white and red gets a good, decent commander, it takes off because people just
that's your choices. It's right now it's Oscar and Feather.
Yeah. So people are just like, oh yes, white, red, yes. No, that's a pretty sweet deck. And then you have another one.
The next one is Kadena. That's at 49. That's 2,334 decks. And that's just a morph deck.
Numbers. I just did.
That's all right. That's fine. Kadena is just morph, and it's kind of probably very similar to everybody else's deck, but I don't think everybody hates morph, and so I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue.
You like playing that deck? I haven't seen you play that one.
It's all right. Well, okay. So last one was pre-quarantine, and that was the deck that took like 2.5 hours to kill everybody, and like number 2 showed up, and he was there for an hour just going,
"Oh,
this game
I remember
fucking
that."
Sucks. Yeah. And I couldn't kill anybody. I just kept on bouncing people's stuff. And so like it definitely has that problem of like finishing a game, and it's just very like control-y and using a lot of mana. And so I haven't taken it apart because Morph is such a unique mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not using almost any of those cards anywhere else. And you're a very good point earlier. Like, it's one of those decks, like, it's a very straightforward mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
And so
There's only really one route you can go with that.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a couple of mine on here too. Well, all in the top 100 stuff. Not all,
All right.
but a lot of these. Okay, so my
30s?
next one would be 39.
Okay.
And that is Nekusar.
Yeah.
Nekusar,
Jeez.
the Mind Razor.
That's an OG right there.
Yeah, I know. Haven't messed with that one a lot. It was good. It's been good. It's punishing people on drawing. I have a couple things of Infect in there. It's pretty damn strong. That's all I have to say about that.
It feels like every play group has a Nekusar deck.
Mine's about 5 years old Nekusar deck, maybe even older.
I think
Look.
me and you together updated it during
That one time when we did the Oloro deck. Is that when you're thinking?
I'm not sure. I feel like we added in the Amonkhet gods.
Yeah, there might be
Scarab God,
Oh yeah, Scarab,
Scorpion God, and Locust God. Like, when that happened, that was the last time you touched that deck.
So I don't play that one much either very often. Sometimes I do because I know I think there's still tutors in it. Maybe like that's when I know it's old is when I go and I play it. And I'm like, oh, demonic tutor. Oh, vampiric. Oh, every single.
You're like
good
apologizing
tutor.
for it.
Yeah.
This deck still has tutors. I'm sorry.
I haven't played it for a while. My next one jumps in the 20s. Where's your next one?
I am 26.
All right, so I have 27. My number 27 deck is Arcades, the strategist. This one's really fucking simple. This is straightforward. Like I was saying, like you just mentioned again, walls, big fat butts, board wipes that are one-sided, trying to kill everybody else's stuff, and you run through and kill people. There isn't much more that can go with Arcades. It's a strong deck because you're playing these, at the very least, walls that you can just block with, and they're not threatening in the beginning. But once Arcades gets down, you just run through everybody.
And so, like Morph, there isn't like a ton of Morph decks, and there aren't a ton of wall decks. And so that's where like a lot of things gets brought into those kind of decks. And so when people are like, I want a wall deck, like they're basically, there's two choices. It's Arcades or Doran.
Right.
That's what you're building.
Arcades
and
draws
is
you.
better.
Yeah, you draw cards. I'll tell you, Walls was one of my, besides Ninjas, was probably my biggest like tribal spec that I made. Remember, I bought like 400 different wall stuff, and that one's by far the most money I made off of that. Because people love walls, but you really only have the one commander for it. So, okay, number 26. What do we got for 26?
Calamax. And this is one of my personal favorites.
That's one of your favorites, yeah.
This is at 3,073 decks. And it's just like, it's not combo, clearly, because we talk about not doing combo like almost ever. And so it's combat trick, and so it's attack, have a combat trick, be able to draw a couple cards off of it, and then value removal or something else on other people's turns, because you can only do it on other people, once per turn the effect happens as long as it's tapped. So I think there's enough. I really like it because there's enough within the deck that make it not crazy. You can make it not crazy, but the fork cards make it just like broken too.
Yeah. And
so right now I don't have enough hate, or there's like a big difference between like if somebody's like, oh, fucking Calamax, and you're like, I'm not combo. And then like, oh, you're that other deck. And like, I think there's a difference there.
You're the bad one. I'm just kidding.
You're the bad Calamax deck. And I was like, yeah.
Which maybe. Still is really bad.
So I think still I personally like it. It allows me to be aggressive, but still have like value off of other instants that I want to cast. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
My next one's 23.
Go for it.
It's going to be Omnath, Locus of Creation, the 4-mana one from Zendikar Rising.
That one's a good damn deck.
A lot of people fucking love this card. So it's 3,200 decks. And I think you can easily go landfall. Like, it's probably the best landfall deck there is. It's really popular. It got banned in, standard. and so you get a bit of a rep there, but like I went with focusing on life gain, and that still can be really brutal in the deck. And there's the landfall stuff. I really enjoy that deck as well.
All right, I have around 20.
Oh no, I'm gonna be next again. 22.
Yeah, go for it.
23, 22. 22 is gonna be Feather. And that's
Another Boros deck?
Yeah, 3,272 decks. It's kind of similar to Calamax. You're casting a lot more spells, so Aetherflux
But that
was
one,
more in that.
that one protects itself really well. Like that one, you have a lot of surprise stuff that it's like,
It's
fuck
combat
you,
trick
Feather.
like up the wazoo, and then you just get to get it back over and over and over. So I think there's some legit reasons why people may not like it, and that's fine. So but
Jeremy.
yeah, fucking I haven't seen that guy like drop his like aura so low. Of course you do. Of course you got it. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
no problem.
Yeah. All right, Larry.
How about this removal? You got an answer?
My turn?
Great.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sweet.
That was a fun day.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. Felt bad. It was the only game I won.
Yeah.
You made me feel bad.
All right. Well, then I have number 20, Teysa Karlov, and that's just death triggers. There's nothing too crazy with that. There's a lot of getting tokens, all that stuff. I play that one occasionally, maybe one out of every 4 times we play.
Aristocrats is a really big archetype where people enjoy it. So like I get it why it's going to be that far up there and popular, and like when you built it, it's fun to kind of play against because it's not super intuitive to be like, oh, this happens, and this is actually doubling it all.
Yeah. You do get a little life link with it, and then I do what I always like to do whenever I have death triggers is Grave Pack kind of stuff where I'm trying to make everybody. That's how I get rid of all your shit.
That.
That's
You love that.
It's my crutch. All right, then my next one's in 16. Where are you at?
I'm down at 7, so you got.
Oh.
Cool story, bro.
Damn it, wrong
Don't
one.
make me feel. I got
Oh,
3.
good
I got
for
3 in the top
you.
10. So good luck.
Oh, good for you.
I also
I'm not
have,
pressing any buttons right now.
I
You're
also
just
have
fucking
3.
smashing those buttons, aren't you? Like fat fingers.
All right, number 16, Niv Mizzet Perun. That's just my Spellslinger deck. I mean, it's straightforward. It's plain spells.
I like your deck better than how I built mine. So
Hello, boobies.
Cool story, bro.
there we go. That's what I was. Yeah.
All right, and then my number 12 is Edgar Markov. That's my beginner deck. That just
so
is
boring.
Yeah, well, it's a beginner deck. I don't ever play
know.
that. I haven't played that deck since I built it.
No.
But all beginners play it because all it is just plain vampires, get more vampires, smash face. It's competitive.
Let's be honest. Like Twilight affected Magic in worse ways than we ever anticipated, and we'll never recover from it. And
We're about to get some more vampires here, buddy.
I know. Just in a
Maybe
couple
we'll
months.
get a better
No.
Edgar.
It's a super powerful deck, and you don't have much choice there though. Like it feels like a morph deck that's way too like it's very, very powerful.
But being 3 colors of vampires, you have more choices of the vampires you choose. You know, you could play the shittiest vampires, and this deck would still be good. I mean, this precon was really good. Just because its ability happens, it has the dominance
and
thing.
just in case it wasn't good enough, they put Teferi's Protection in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's why that one's like.
Why wasn't that in the cat one?
Isn't
cat
that like
one
a
blue?
$500 deck now if you just bought
it's
the
fucking
commander
stupid.
deck? Okay, so then I get into the top 10. My first one is 7.
No, mine's 7.
No, mine's 7. Yours is 6.
Maybe no, I have one at 6 as well.
Because I have Yarok.
I have Madrotha.
Wow, what the fuck are we doing here, buddy? What the fuck are we doing
I think
here?
you're at 8. Maybe I
What
did
the
it wrong. I don't know.
The
Is your
fuck-
computer gonna crash?
We'll see here in a second.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Top commanders. Let me just check here. All right. Yarok it's moved. Siseo was higher than that. Now Sisea's in between mine. Mine has Yarok at 9 now. What is your 7?
Muldrotha.
Yeah, this is different than when I had it just a little bit ago.
What? That's crazy. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
did my work yesterday.
Weird. Edgar's still in the same spot. All right, well, mine, number 9. Because when I looked at it before, I swear that Muldrotha and Yarok were right next to each other.
Yeah,
Now,
I do recall that.
Sasea's mixed in there in between. So, whatever. We don't have an updated list as of... Want to see if
I'm
anything
good.
else.
I'm good.
Anything
You're wrong.
else?
I'm s-
Oh, good for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so
Yarok's fucking
Yarok.
nuts.
Yarok, that one's a fun deck to play. That one's, what do I have for Yarok? It's a very strong deck. That one I win a lot with when I play that, even though it's 3 color. 3 colors a little, it's a lot of ETB land stuff coming into play. It's ETB finding land, so I'm always like mana strong, ramped up. So when there's board wipes, it's really easy to get them back out. And then just those double triggers on all that stuff, it really just wrecks face. So that's one of my favorite decks to play.
I think I like your version of it too, because you're like snow themed but landfall theme, and then you have like a bit of elemental, and then you also have the what's the mechanic from Ixalan, where when it ETBs you look at the top card and then like bin it or don't, and it gets
the
one
Surveil.
No, it's not Surveil.
Oh no, it's what the tree folk ones you're talking about.
No,
It's it's on the tip of my tongue. It's shit. Hang on, I'm about to get it because it's gonna be one of the first one. It's what that crab thing too, or Risen Reef.
No, that's your elemental part to it.
Yeah, that's
but,
the elemental.
So, but I like that part too.
It's bugging the shit out of me that I don't know which one it is. It's not. I'm
gonna cut this. I'm just gonna cut all this.
I don't know why I'm not finding it. It's the dude that you look at the top card. It's a land. Can't you change it?
If it's a
explore,
land, you can
explore. I didn't even
so
find
excited.
it. It just hit my head. I was like,
See,
oh,
that's
yeah,
how I
it's-
feel like with Savant all the time.
Yeah, explore. Yeah, so it has. Yeah, you're right because it has like 4 different themes in it, all mini
Yeah.
themes, so
And they
like
all
8 cards
work.
a piece. Yeah.
So I think it's really cool. I like that version of it, and I can see like streamlining it and being awful. So
All right, so you have the true number 7.
The true 7. Muldrotha, the Gravetide. So I'm at
Just
7
a
right there. 4,699 decks. That's getting to be quite a bit of decks made for it in the last 2 years.
In fact, since you made it or looked at it yesterday, it's been made in 6 more decks.
Wow. This is one I've considered cutting because
Really?
I mean, like, I really like it, but I have added like a snow theme to it, and like being able to like Ice Vein Coatl, block, bring it back the next turn. It's a really it's a cool deck. It's something that I really like, and I think it was the first deck that I made for the cast.
Was it really?
Dominaria?
Oh, you might. So would Slimefoot be mine? Was Slimefoot? Yours was such a better. Yours is such a better fucking deck for the cast than mine was.
So I think
that's your baby.
I
That's why I still
enjoy
have Slimefoot.
Yeah,
It's
you do.
terrible.
No, it isn't. It won that game last time we
I
played
know.
back in July. So I think it's I enjoy Muldrotha, but it's one of those like really grindy decks. Not as grindy as like the Morph Kadena, but it's like I'm gonna do this, and then sacrifice.
Yeah, there's a lot
affect
going
this,
on
this,
your
this.
turns.
And then, but it's a lot going on, but not affecting the board where I'm like changing things. It's just like small little changes.
Yeah.
And so like it's fun. But I think I've changed it enough that I'm gonna enjoy it still.
All right. Then do you
It's
have
gonna be
6?
next. I have 6.
You have 6.
Alayla. which is the Fairy Poopateur, and that's at 4,839 decks. I just worked on this with Switcheroo, MTG Switcheroo on Twitter, and it was an enchantment deck. It has switched over to artifact deck, and it has totally reinvigorated what I enjoy about it. So it is here to stay for a while.
Nice. Yeah, that's a strong deck. I mean, just a Layla deck, that could be pretty brutal. Okay, then I have number 5.
Oh, good for
what? Why are you doing that? Because you're in the top 3.
I got number 3.
Yeah. I actually have 4 and 5. So 5 is EDHREC, the Tiger Shadow. That is one of my favorite decks to play. The Ninja Commander. It's just it's a lot of little evasive creatures. I've talked about this deck a lot because I always end up playing it at least once a night when we do in real life games. It's if I want a game to go fast,
it's a Krenko deck, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those decks that, like, if you're going off, you're going to start ending the game really quick.
Well, and even if I don't win, it brings everybody down so that whoever wins, it's easy kill because it's hitting everybody all at once.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
that's
easy
a great
evasive
style of deck to have in your arsenal of just like, let's get this game over quick.
Right. There's a lot of those where we are like, hey guys, we only have like an hour and a half. Let's everybody play their fast deck. And then this will end it pretty damn quick. So it's a fun deck. I get my cards out fast. Everything's really low casting cost. A lot of top manipulation, which we'll be talking about in a little bit here. So it has a lot of that going for it, and it's just a fun deck. Then my next one is one that I probably should kill because I have not played this deck in forever, but it is Atraxa Praetor's Voice. And this is my Planeswalker deck. I haven't updated this deck in probably 5 years.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah. So this one is just still the original Planeswalkers that I had put in it, and it's bad.
It's bad. I think Atraxa is a really wide idea, though. You got +1/+1 counters, -1/-1. Planeswalker's deck is probably the main thing that's going on with it. But the card's crazy.
I'll be honest, if everybody didn't have an Atraxa deck, if everybody had, then I would probably be like, okay, I want to rebuild this. But everybody has a fucking Atraxa deck, and I'm just like, I don't even want to try to attempt this. But it'd be really fun. I like Planeswalkers, and I have a lot of them. Oh, good for me.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you. So I would like to update this, but because it's in so many decks, every play group, like you were saying earlier, probably has an Atraxa deck. You know, there's somebody in there, and most people play a Atraxa deck where it's like poison counters.
There's poison. Fucking poison.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's a lot of those. So that is one that that is my highest ranked deck, but is right next to my favorite, which was the EDHREC deck. So why don't you bring us into in the top 3 with your top deck?
I have Kenrith, the King Returned, and
dude's pretty good.
I think my deck is at least a little bit different than a lot of people. It's landfall hate, essentially. But it also inhibits everybody putting lands into play. So like it's speeds up the game because everybody's ramping, and then it's also damaging them, so it's speeding up the game so everybody has less life. And then there's also like a sub theme of like gaining life and burning people out that way as well with like. So I enjoy the deck because it's one of those that doesn't have a strong enough, it's not like strongly put together, it's like a loose together, if that makes sense. Like there isn't enough cards that just like hate on lands coming into play, and there isn't enough cards that like allow or like start winning you the game, like draining people for gaining life, you or them. There just isn't a ton. So it's like meshes together kind of loosely, and I've found it very interesting to play around with. But Kenrith can just turn into like a good stuff deck.
Well, him being 5 colors and it has 5 those 5 things built in on it, like,
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of Garth a little bit, that it has all these different things that can be going on with it. And, you know, I've seen Guy play his and been milled out multiple times by his,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
like in yours is the life or the land part to it. Kenrith just has it being 5 colors, all these different options on it. It seems like it can do a lot of different things. This is one of the cooler commanders that are out there at this point, because you have different angles you can go about with this. And like I said, yours is different than what Guy's is. And those are the 2 that
Yeah.
I've seen, 2 different people, and they have 2 different styles with it.
Here's a question that I have now that like I'm looking at it. Do you see like us as building for the podcast and ourselves, but we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 for the top 10. We are there. That's a lot, right? It's not 10.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, but it's not 8, and then it's not 2 and 1. But I did build Golos, which was number 1. And so it's kind of like, are we?
Oh, good for you.
No, I took it apart. It was Guild Gates, which was it was bad. It was a bad deck. Let's be honest. I didn't enjoy it. Nobody enjoyed it.
I probably would have built Corvold, but I already have my Mazarek deck, which does a
Yeah,
kind of similar thing.
And I might have built Corvold as well, but I built Vivictus as Madi. Same colors, sacrificing things. Corvold fit into that deck.
I'll say that out of my the 10 that are here and my 13 that are over on not in the top 100, I would take my 13 that are not. I would play those over the ones that I have in the top 100. They just seem more fun. Like, they're different things that they're doing, and 2 of them are just straight red.
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I agree.
I have
with that.
Magda, Perforos, Slimefoot, Bruvac, Rashmi, Grenzo, Tulsamir, Croxa, Akiri. That one was tough to figure out the placing.
Yeah.
Akiri,
Yeah.
Okun, and Mazarek. Oh, Mazarek and Daryl.
And I have Jorn, which is kind of a mess. Kelsian, which I like. Glenn, which I like. Essex, that I like. Naeth, I enjoy. Trelasara, which is new. I enjoy Nikia. Kestia is kind of, yeah, that's the Aura one. Vivictus as Madi is kind of like borderline, and Rihanna, which I really like. So, like, I'm half with my under, and all of my non-top 100 decks are under 1,000 decks made.
Oh, yeah. That I have 150, like rank 154. Well, let's see, over 1,000. I have
What's
one.
your lowest amount of decks made for a commander?
Daryl?
Oh, you didn't look at that, did you?
Yeah, I did. Daryl.
Is it? Oh, really? That's because mine is Glenn.
Yeah, because people are all against The Walking Dead.
Are there that many people that are just hate The Walking Dead?
And
All
and
right.
foreshadowing to next week when we talk to Card Sphere guy, I was really was surprised when he said that he made what's his name? Negan.
Yeah.
So he probably foreshadowing for next week. We have Card Sphere guys on, but yeah. So
Right.
I have 125 decks that Daryl is in. Rank 725.
I didn't look at my rank, but Glenn has 108.
So yours is even lower.
Yeah. I was like super surprised by that because Glenn's really solid card.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just think people are against the Walking Dead stuff. And think
Like,
about it.
So many people didn't buy it.
Well, no, think about that. Yeah, that's the other thing is a lot of these are in standard sets or commander decks and all that stuff. That was only a secret layer. So there's not
Yeah,
as
that's
many
true.
out there. I mean, that you can buy them easily, but they're not as known, you know.
Yeah.
Think of us
Yeah.
maybe 10 years ago. I'd probably say more than that. Maybe 15 years ago. Would we even know about secret layers back then? You know,
No.
because even 10,
No, we
because
won't.
I wasn't on TCG then. I was buying my stuff on Card Kingdom and eBay. You know, I didn't even know about TCG. So there's probably a lot of players out there that don't even know about the secret layer stuff. So, okay, we probably need to move on. That was pretty fun. That was fun.
It's enjoyable. I mean, like,
I want to know what
comments. If people want to see us build more abstract things, like, or we're just going to keep on building what we want to build. I don't feel bad about building anything that we've built.
No, I want to build Chatterfang, and Chatterfang isn't even in here.
Yeah, that's true. But like when we brought that up on the Discord, somebody was like, Chatterfang's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah. It does sell. The squirrels are just, people are nuts about squirrels.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Let's get into our continuing segment. And
week 2 of our continuing semi-annual in our annual.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight!
Staple versus! All right.
I forgot I had this.
No.
All right. Oh, that's a great laugh. All right.
All right. So staple versus. What are we doing this week? We are doing some of these pretty awesome.
Right. Okay, so we're going to do Sylvan Library versus Sensei's Divining Top.
So, in our opinion, this week it's a staple versus staple. We're not always going to do staple versus staple. It might be staple versus what maybe you should be using over the staple. But at the end of this, we're going to give you the points of each, pluses and minuses.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want you guys to decide which one is the winner. Last week, Soul Ring was against Monocrypt. And Monocrypt got its ass kicked by Soul Ring. Twitter voted 90% Soul Ring, and our Discord voted 66% for Soul Ring. So that was kind of a blowout. So this week, you guys are voting for Sylvan Library versus Sensei's.
And so I don't think it's the better card, but it's like, what do you want to play? What if you had to choose the two?
One or the other.
What are you choosing? And so
you have one spot left to fill in your deck, and this is the spot you need filled. You only can put one of these cards in. Which one are you going to take?
Yeah.
So
okay, so let's go with like Sylvan Library versus Sensei's Divining Top, because they're filling similar roles, but they do different things.
Why don't we say what they are? That's maybe we should start with.
Okay, Sylvan Library is green colorless enchantment, and then you get to. It's fucking weird, so I might not do it right, but you get to draw 3 cards, choose to put them on top of any order, but then you get to draw 1, 2, or 3, and for every card you draw beyond the first one, you'd pay for life. But so you draw it at the beginning, but you don't technically, because you can put them back. Did I satisfactory right there?
Well, that's good because it gets a benefit from draw effects with that as well. But yes, that is, and so you can.
Sensei's Divining Top is 1 colorless artifact. You can pay 1, look at the top 3 cards, reorder them in any way, and then tap it, put it, or draw a card, put it on top of your library.
And the interesting thing is, you might go, yeah, well, Sensei's is an artifact. And it's going to go in so many more decks because it's an artifact and Sylvan's only for green decks. Well, wait. We're not doing that scenario, but even if we were, Sensei's is in 55,000 decks where Sylvan Library is in 57,000 decks. So Sylvan Library...
Which blows my mind.
Sylvan Library already has the edge on that. But well, let's go back and forth with some of these. So the nice thing about Sensei's is it's a 1-drop. Mm-hmm. And you can tap at any point and look at the top 3 and manipulate the top of your library.
Yeah, at any time, multiple times. Yeah. And that works with something that's so like Counterbalance. That's a great card for there because like you're able to look at the Counterbalance is like enchantment. It triggers whenever a spell is cast by an opponent, and you can reveal a top card if they're the same CMC.
Counters it.
It counters that spell for free. Sensei's Divining Top allows you to look at the top 3 and have the best chance of countering that spell for technically 1 mana, but free.
Yeah. Why don't we just let's work down Sensei's side. Let's do that, and then we'll work over to Sylvan. So that's one plus. Another plus is if somebody's trying to kill Sensei's Divining Top, it's very fucking hard to kill.
It's like Crows and Grip, and that's about it.
Yeah, you need something that has split second. Otherwise, they can tap it, draw the card, and then put their Senseis on top of their library. So it's, it's
or you're like remove it, and then they're like draw. And you're like mill that top card with Fenix or something.
Yeah,
like you're working real hard to get rid of top.
Sensei's top. It's amazing for manipulation decks, for top manipulation decks. The downside of this card is the cheapest version, because it hasn't been printed since one of those master sets, is $61. So this sucker is up there in price, and that might be why part of the indication of 55,000 decks. Maybe it would be more if it was a little bit cheaper.
I believe so.
We kind of ran into that problem with Monocrypt last week, so that might be one of the reasons. Do you have any more pluses? Because
I think it combos with more cards, kind of like I was saying, like Counterbalance. We could talk about like Bolas's Citadel, where you can be like, you're able to pay life instead of mana and casting cards off the top. And if you have top in play, you can just look and you're like, oh, it's a land.
Move that.
I'll tap, put top on top, put the land into my hand, and then pay 1 to put top into play again. Like you can just move through a deck with that kind of thing, and it helps with storm counts because it's super cheap to cast. You can put it back on top knowing that you're going to draw something super cheap to recast it. And there's, I think, some really good moving parts there that can work. It works in like Kaikar or a Layla, where you're like, okay, I know the top card, like I'm getting shafted, I'm lands, but I'm still going to be able to cast spells and get the effects of putting creatures into play. Like it has a ton of reach and a ton of utility. And also in like a Glen, I have it in Glen deck, even though I'm drawing tons of cards there, it's just drawing 1 extra card for like a Chasm Skulker to get more counters on it, or like those draw effects of like a Psychosis Crawler. And that also works with Sylvan Library, right? So I'm willing to move over to Sylvan Library at this point.
Yeah. So some of the benefits with Sylvan Library, like it doesn't have it so you can check your top at any point, but at that drawing 3, the difficult thing that Sensei's top has is if you look at your top 3 and they're all fucking land, there's nothing you can do about it unless one of them is a fetch. You're screwed. You're just going to have to draw those the next 3 turns, or 2 turns if you can manipulate to find it. With Sylvan, you can just take that 8 damage. I've done it before. I've done it before. I
remember that Tollsmere game. You drew like 12 extra cards. I swear to God. And you're like, well, I was dead anyway if I didn't do this.
At least I was doing something, because I had to get through all that. You just get mana screwed or mana flooded. Yep. So
that draw is just so powerful of just like flying through your deck if you want.
Yep. It also manipulates the top, so you can actually take those cards, put them back on top, so it works with other decks that you want certain things on top. You get that bonus of the draw effect like we talked about earlier. So drawing 3 cards. You are drawing those 3 cards, and then you're choosing to put back if you want. It is also cheaper, not by much, but cheaper than Sensei's top at $44, cheapest version of that. And that's actually the green that came out. Was it Commander Green that came out last year? That's the cheapest one, surprisingly. Negatives, losing life.
I think that allows you to play with stuff too, because there's like some cards that allow you to like gain life that you've lost that turn.
But I would say most of the time when you're doing the loss of life, you're not.
It's a negative.
You're not taking advantage of it. And then I just had it's only in green, but that's not what we're talking about here, because like we just said, 57,000 decks compared to 55,000 decks. So this is in just as many decks for an artifact. So we're saying this spot is open for 1 card, and that spot has to be a green card because it's not green. It's in a green deck. Did you have more for Sylvan Library pluses?
I think the other thing, like it is, Sylvan Library was, or maybe still is, a legacy card, but it's such a big difference between 20 life where you're starting, like for older players, and 40 life. Because 40 life, you just have so much more to play around with. And that raw draw power is so crazy, of just being able to be like, draw 3 for free at the beginning of every turn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely a hard choice between the two. I love top.
Yeah.
But it's hard to beat library.
And we're not going to give our opinions on which one we would choose.
It's hard. They're both fucking good.
Yeah. I think top has not made it in one deck. We talked about that last week. And that is
like Sensei's top. It's like this top, or not Sensei. It's like Soul Ring.
Yeah.
Of just like, this goes in every deck.
Yeah.
Why would I not put it in there?
So I don't know, but they're both like, I had mentioned before, Sylvan Library, I didn't own until recently. And I used to be for green Miri's Guile, which was possibly on this list of us talking here, but it is a curated. Yeah. It is a curated. Check that video out. That was my Sylvan Library. And now this has pushed that out because it just is a better card. You have card draw.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is just like Sylvan Library is an incredible card, and so is top.
Yeah.
And so if I was trying to choose between the two, I don't know. Like, it might be deck dependent.
Well, and that's what I was about to go, is like, if we're talking toolbox, you go top because it fits in more decks. But that's not the scenario we're talking about here. We want you to vote on, this is the open spot for this deck that works for both of these cards.
So good
Which
luck
one do you
voting.
play with? I mean, because that draw is really, really big there. That, you know, taking 4. Yeah, this one's gonna be a lot tougher.
I'm gonna be interested to see where it's voted. I think it's gonna be a lot closer as well.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that should do it for this week. Next week, we have some guests on our show. The guys from CardSphere, the owners of CardSphere, 2 out of the 3 of them. We did a little interview with them, kind of explain that. So if you're wondering what CardSphere is, well, in the next week, just kind of look it up. You get an idea of it. But then they're going to kind of go over what it all does. I mean, Lowry's been using it for how many years now? And we have so many people in the Discord that use it.
Yeah, at least 3, probably 3.5 years.
And I'll tell you, I'm going to start using it. Not that I needed that, but they are very persuasive. No, I'm just kidding.
They're very good guys.
Yes, they're good guys. It makes sense not to use it, or to use it, not to words.
It makes, like, there's a lot of good points brought up for it. And again, like, my personal bias is it's the best way to get cards, like in a passive manner.
Right.
So if you're just like, I like this card, but I don't know what I want it for, it's definitely a site that you want to be using. And if you're really aggressive on the cards that you want, it works. But like, I understand, like, impulses, like human impulse is really hard to fight against.
Yeah.
So
that's a good
learn
interview.
Some patience.
You guys you're gonna be in for a treat next week. So
yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Sega.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love
love
thanks for the memories. I love